Hey guys, and welcome to yet another Cast of Salt. With you today, you have myself, Ben,
Yo.
and Carl.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
I'm doing all right.
You doing okay?
Doing pretty good.
How shit has the weather been this last
It's
week?
been incredibly damp and
been a
not
bit
in
ba-
a fun way.
It's been a bit rainy.
It has been.
It's been a bit
depressing. Like,
Perfect weather for staying home playing video
yeah,
games.
too bad we work.
Absolutely. Well, I'm
Too
not
bad
sure.
we have a life outside of.
Yeah.
I'm not
our
sure about
apartments.
you, but I've been like in bed for a week.
Oh yeah,
so,
you've been dying.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, video games.
And Adam is,
Speaking of,
Adam's
Adam's
currently
currently
dead.
dying.
He was meant to be on this podcast, but he's pretty
But he
dead.
decided to die instead.
And
Yeah.
Ryan is currently emotionally dying at someone's wedding.
Ryan, yeah, nah.
Are you trying to
Wow.
infer you
Wowee.
can't emotionally die if you're already emotionally dead? I mean, you don't have to say it. I'm just gonna spell it out for you.
For those listening, I just did an exaggerated wink.
Meanwhile, Ben's just sitting there being like, I'm already dead inside. This body is hollow.
my old friend.
Become so numb. All right, moving on. Wow. Okay,
Nah.
so we've done it again. We've like lasted 30 seconds before we made a musical reference. How the fuck has your week been?
We should
Ben?
start a musical channel.
Yeah,
Forget
so-
gaming. We're doing music now. My week has actually been pretty decent. I've been overwatching a fair bit, as you guys know.
Nice.
Yep. So
There's
have you
been
been
a few
on?
decent recent updates. Just to like season 4 just started.
Yep. Have
So
you
I'm-
been on the PTR?
No.
Yep. And played the new thingy? No?
I've seen the update to the map. One of the maps. I forget which one it is. And like it's just carrying on with the lore of the game.
The game has a story.
It has a lore. It's actually pretty interesting.
That's not a fair comment. I know the game has quite a rich lore and quite
Yeah.
a lot of story, but I thought that
So does
story
Counter-Strike.
was mostly absent from the actual gameplay.
They incorporate. That's how they introduce new characters. That's how they just do. Like they just do little bits and pieces. So for example, this one they are introducing a new character, and as part of that, they did a story where an attack happened on the airport. And some of the defense busts have been busted up. One's got thrown into a wall.
So who attacked the airport?
The Overwatch. Dun dun dun.
Oh, come on.
That's people now.
Oh, come on. Okay,
No,
so the coolest
I actually
character.
haven't seen the new character. I believe it is
There
the
is
new
a character whose name is Doomfist.
That's the one.
And he attacked the airport.
There you go. So apparently, though, the thing was the Doomfist's artifact, the gauntlet, got stolen, and so I guess that's how they're bringing in the new
one of the
character.
original videos.
No, that was the original videos was Talon trying to steal it, but
Yes.
failing. But now it actually got stolen.
Now they've actually got it.
But it's not Talon that stole it though, or unless Doomfist is tied in with Talon, then I don't know because
I
I
have
just
no
haven't
idea. I
really-
think Doomfist will be a part of the bad guy team
feel-
because the new one is part of the good guy team and it just balances it out.
Yeah, potentially. But having said that, the teams aren't all that balanced already anyway. Like, if you look at the entire roster, you've got some neutral characters. You've got, like, Roadhog and Junkrat that are just...
they're just generic bad dudes.
That's cause
Oh my god, I found a
issues.
sexy picture of Junkrat the other day. There was a
that,
not,
that sentence...
there was a not safe.
that
my God.
sentence makes literally no sense
I just love how as soon as he started saying that sentence, your face
I
just
was
went.
like, I know where this is going. And I do not like it. I do not like it in the slightest.
Well, there was a photo shoot of like
I also
imagine-
don't like where this is going.
of Overwatch people as if they were in lingerie or underwear, and there is a picture of Junkrat just on his side with a peg
Showing off his
leg
junk.
and just like a really tight pair of boxer shorts. And I was like, that is going into the archives because I'm going to need to drop that in on someone sometime.
I'm gonna need.
I'll be in my bunk.
Oh lord. Okay. That's not where I was hoping that conversation would go. When I brought up Overwatch.
So you've been playing a lot of Overwatch.
But I've only just started doing the placement matches for
Rank?
rank.
Yep.
Why are you subjecting yourself to Overwatch
I
ranks?
love it.
That way,
I
madness
thoroughly
lies.
enjoy it. Like I've done five rank matches or placement matches, and I've won 5 out of 5 so far.
What?
Also, I was going to say he knows not what he does, but then I realized he does this in LoL as well. He plays solo ranked.
Yeah, well,
You guys get so worked up about being on shit teams or getting
I don't-
abused
I-
or
no,
not being to the level of
I
others.
don't get worked up about being on shit teams. Every team's a shit team.
You get worked up about being on shit teams. The amount of times I've seen you and how you doing today, Cal? Lost that lol.
Okay, no.
The worst part of it is not being on shit teams. The worst part of it is being on teams of shit people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, I can
There is a difference between
people.
there's a difference between a bad player and a bad person.
Yeah.
And 90% of the people on PC Overwatch at least are bad people.
Yeah.
So Carl, which are you?
I'm a bad person. Obviously.
Yeah. So
Clearly.
but the thing
Shut
is,
the fuck up, Carl.
majority of the time I do play like arcade and quick match just because
Arcade's
it's
fun.
so much fun.
Have you 3v3'd yet?
I have 3v3'd. I enjoy that. I like 6v6 random, where it just randomly picks the characters for you. I hate 1v1. I cannot stand 1v1.
1v1 is a dumb concept.
It is the... it frustrates me so goddamn much. That one I don't like, so I don't play
Okay,
that
fair
one.
enough.
Wait,
I
1v1
did-
is scrub,
it's-
solo mid.
It's been a while since I played Overwatch, so I didn't even know it was in there.
Ah, there you go. Get back
Yeah.
into it.
How am I more up to date on Overwatch than you are?
Because I went back to League of Legends.
Because he went to WoW.
I was gonna say I went back to the comforting embrace of, and I'm like, wait, no, LOL could never be described as comforting.
No, it's
or embracing.
it's it's embracing. It's embracing like an Iron Maiden.
I went back to the dank dungeon of LOL.
But aside from that, I found that there's an Anytime Fitness near my place now, and for me, that's just amazing. Like,
Wow,
I'm
that
happy.
is so exciting.
It's-
Are you happy for him?
I'm very happy for him.
I am so happy.
I'm
for
There's
very
a
happy
gym
for him.
that I go to really, really close to my apartment. It's
Hey,
great.
Hey,
I love it.
Hey, Ben, there's an Anytime Fitness near my place.
No. No. You stay away from me.
You have gotten so expert at shutting him down.
You're just like,
So expert.
I'm not even going to hazard the thought.
We're not even going to have this conversation. It's just
Anyway,
over.
okay.
Next.
Carl.
So that's it from me.
Oh, it's my turn now.
Yeah, I
Seriously
can
now,
tell when
Carl.
he's finished because he's talking about gym stuff, which I'm like, who gives a fuck?
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I care. I care about my friends, Ben.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you.
What were we talking about?
I was just waiting for the. So that doesn't mean you. Sorry.
You should be.
No, I'm actually not. That's it.
You're not sorry at all.
I was sorry for playing
Yeah, you're not sorry at all. Yeah. So I've dipped my toe back into League of Legends a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to stick with it or not though. This time, it's the same cancerous hellhole it's ever been.
Have you seen the new match type, which is like the Summoner's Rift, but
Yeah.
you just have no cooldowns, effectively no cooldowns on your abilities.
Yes,
nothing costs
it's
mana.
stupid.
So
It's stupid.
I
It's always
spent
been
ages-
stupid, and it continues to be
I spent
stupid.
ages playing it last night, and I'm like, I kind of like this, but it pisses me off so
Yeah.
much.
So
you
just
just
get
spam
a,
the shit out of your abilities.
you
And
just get a character that can stun and do damage with the stun and
Yeah.
tap 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 tap. It's
Yeah.
what the fuck mode for Dota.
Yeah, that is essentially it.
We had a Riven on our team yesterday, and she absolutely decimated simply because she'll just dash, and she gets a shield every time she dashes. So she just dash, get into the middle, stun, ult, start whacking at him, just keep stunning and whacking, and it's just like, what the hell can you do?
Yeah, so
what the shit can you do? And
But
then
that
against
game
Yi,
is not meant to be balanced, though. Is the thing.
and then against Master Yi, he has this Q that just bounces, and once he's bouncing, he's hurting people, and he can't be targeted. And it's just like,
is it sad that I'm just like,
What
that's
do you
called
do?
Omni Slash?
yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same character basically. You just can't do anything about that. But
Just
yes,
use
but
its
it's kind of
proper
fun,
name.
but it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's
sorry.
kind of fun but frustrating.
Summarizes LOL.
Summarizes
Some
those
LOL as a general.
those games in general. Still playing WoW. Still playing Hearthstone. There's a new Hearthstone expansion coming out in which they're ripping yet more ideas off Magic, so it looks pretty fun.
So what ideas have they stolen?
Zendikar quests.
So it's
I love
slowly,
Zendikar quests.
it's slowly becoming
Man,
Well,
Magic.
it'll never become Magic because you can't act
Slowly
on your
becoming
opponent's turn.
yet.
one day, Carl.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
That'll never
Yes,
happen. It'll never
like-
happen.
They'll never do that.
No, it actually fits so
They can't do
easily
that.
into their rule set.
Does it?
Yeah.
How?
You just say this card can be played at any time.
Nice and
Man.
simple.
Jeez. Okay. All right.
Bam!
All right. Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, why did that guy leave all his crystals open end of turn? I don't know. Maybe he has an instant speed Wrath of God.
And I'm
Welcome
trying
to my personal hell.
and I'm trying to convince myself not to buy a Switch.
Yeah, don't buy a Switch, Carl.
Okay.
We just
It's a
play
glor-
Ben's. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Fair
It's
enough.
a glorified Android tablet.
Yeah,
that-
so let's let's talk about Ben's week in gaming, which will also lead on to our first major topic.
So this is Ben's fortnight of agony. We went to karaoke last Friday. Last Friday?
2 Fridays
Two
ago.
Fridays ago.
Yes.
Which was great.
It was
fun.
great.
It's fantastic.
None of us can sing.
None of us.
It was fantastic,
Except
though.
Ben and Leon. They can sing.
It was good fun.
By none of us, you mean Adam and I and yourself can't sing.
But
None of us can sing.
That doesn't
how
stop
good,
us.
How good was our rendition of "Wake Me Up Inside"?
Oh,
We
oh my god, we
just
killed
went
we
ape
killed
shit
it
on that.
We killed it.
They probably heard us at the bar. And they're probably like, what?
What is wrong with this
How
people?
did they get 15 cats in there? More importantly, how did they tie their tails all together and start playing rugby with cats?
Cat rugby.
Yeah.
That's a great idea for a video game. Cat rugby.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, so we did that last week.
Yeah.
Like last font, well, whenever.
2 weeks ago, effectively.
And that was pretty good. Next morning, actually next evening, splitting chest, like terrible chest pain. So I spent the entire week leading up to the Switch launch in bed.
His body was preparing himself for the
in
Switch
bed,
launch.
dying, going, fuck, why couldn't this happen next week so I can lay in bed and play video games?
The whole time.
And then I was like, wait, Ben, your bed is literally in front of a TV. You can lay in bed and play video games already. And I'm like, shut up,
Yeah.
Self. Self is wrong.
So you laid in bed and played video games.
No, I actually laid in bed and watched
Dying.
YouTube.
Jerking it.
So much joking. Just
Constantly.
So I've been up to date with Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon, and a few other bits and pieces.
Cool.
And I'm like, gotta get back into that. Gotta swang that up. It's gonna be fun. What else has been happening?
Sweet.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, Breath
Give
of
us
the
your
Wild.
verdict. I've read a few reviews on it. I'm pretty keen to get into it, and this is us getting into the first main topic to begin with. Anyway,
So rate it for us out of 10.
Out of 10, can I do 2 scales?
Yeah,
as
go for
it.
I'm gonna go as a Zelda game, and like as a Zelda game and as a launch title, it's a solid 10. It's makes my top 3 Zelda games incredibly difficult now.
What
Ocarina of Time,
were your existing top 3?
Oh, not Majora's Mask. Maybe
Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask. I was gonna say Wind Waker.
Oh shit! I like Wind Waker's pretty good, but I actually put a Link to the Past in there
Yeah.
as well.
Link to the
So
Past.
now you have like
Link
a
to the Past is number 1.
No,
And if
Majora's
you-
Mask is number 1.
and if you disagree,
Ocarina of
you
Time
are
is number
wrong.
1.
Yeah. No. I had a guy. Wrong. I had a guy came over to get his hair done by one of my friends, and we'll talk. He came and looked at the new Zelda game, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, man, I haven't played Zelda since Ocarina of Time, and I'm like, yeah, that's one of the best. And he's like, I think you mean the best, and I'm just like, fuck out of my lounge
It's
room.
like, there's the door.
You come into my home,
You can use it.
my home, and play my Switch, and say Ocarina's the best.
That's my opinion as well.
Actually, they're all defensible positions.
Yeah,
I think
they're all different
They're all
enough that you're
defensible.
like,
You could make an argument for all
all of
those
them.
3 being
Yeah.
the best Zelda game.
Okay, and we all know what the worst canon Zelda game is.
Minish Cap?
Minish Cap was great.
I haven't actually played it. That was just
It's Link to like Adventures of Link.
I haven't actually played it.
yeah.
What, Zelda 2? You're saying that's the worst?
That is by far the worst.
It's just different.
You like, I will take Phantom Hourglass.
just like,
I will take
but
Spirit Tracks.
just
Oh yeah,
different.
Phantom Hourglass. That was bad.
That was a bit clunky to control, but you got used to it.
I didn't.
it's in the-
I didn't. I just stopped playing it.
I liked it, but it's in the bottom 5. And like Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land.
That's not canon.
That's
What's the title of the one on Wii that came with the Wii?
Skyward Sword.
No.
No, before
Twilight
that,
Princess?
Twilight Princess.
That was great.
I like that. That was a really good one
Dude,
as well.
like-
We're not saying that's the worst. He's
I
saying
know,
Zelda.
but I'm just trying to think like,
Okay.
would I count that in my top?
Okay, so I have to
Not
play
number 1, but
related to Skyward Sword. I have to play through Twilight Princess to fully max out my Wolf amiibo. You want to slam jam out Twilight Princess sometime?
Yeah, why not?
Because I got the HD version on the Wii U.
I'm down with that.
You're like, yeah, Wii U.
I haven't played it in
Oh, what a console.
I haven't played that in a while.
Alright, so how long until they make you buy it again for Switch is the question. You know what's gonna happen.
All right. So
Wait, what? They're gonna make you buy the...
Oh yeah, they'll make you buy everything again for the Swatch.
Because that's just what Nintendo do, you know?
Well, see, because it's a HD version, I'm feeling it's going to have at least one generation where they don't release it.
Wait, so are the Switch game CDs?
No, they're cartridges.
They're carts.
Oh.
They're like
If
3DS
you want, I can
cards.
get up and show you.
Oh, well, we can...
Okay, so
look
We'll,
later.
we'll take a picture and put it in the video version.
As Zelda goes, it is a primo Zelda game. As a game on our modern scene, I'll give it a solid 8.
Nice, man. I was, like, the reading up
You
that I
didn't
did on
give
it...
it a 9 out of 10. This is an outrage.
This is the thing, where I was like, everyone's giving it 9s and 10s.
That's because they're like the abused partners. With the Zelda series having been in decline for so long.
Yeah, that's the thing, where it's like, if anyone else made this game, it would be a solid 8. But because it's Zelda, and because it's Nintendo, and because I can play it on the move and on my ass, it's getting 10s. And I'm like, no, it's an 8.
It's like, regardless of all those facts...
You wouldn't even give it an extra 0.5?
No.
Why would you give it the extra point?
I don't give 0.5 for portability.
But that in itself is a good selling point, though. I'd say if you're giving... what are you ranking it on in terms of that 8?
We're also trying to point out here, like, kind of the absurdity of numerical ranking systems.
okay.
You know,
it's like what is your baseline? What are you comparing it against?
Well,
it's like this game has things that other games don't have. So how do you compare them? How do you rank it?
So shout out to my friend's website. So is it any good? They do.
I might check that out actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've written an article for them, by the way.
Cool.
Justice League Dark, the review.
Nice. Okay, I'll read the article.
They basically have a binary thing where it's like, do I watch this or do I not watch this?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's like plain and simply
yeah,
put.
Yeah.
Zelda.
Do I play it or do I not play it?
You play it.
Absolutely play it. End of
And
story.
why I feel like it gets an 8 out of 10 to answer that question is it plays on old Zelda tropes, so it harkens back to what I know and what I love, and it mixes them up.
Yeah.
It does it in a new, fresh way. The world is vast and has fucking cool things to explore. You get magical powers, and you're just like, hey, I wonder if there's anything in the lake. Yeah, there's a chest there. Grab
Off
chest.
I go.
And you're like, there's a rock here where a rock shouldn't be. I wonder what's under the rock. Pick up rock, something happens. And you're like,
and it plays the jingle jangle.
and you're just like,
It
yeah.
still has that. It has to have. I can't imagine a Zelda game without that jingle. Like it would stop being a Zelda game if that was the case.
Combat is Zelda, but different.
Okay.
You don't want to be in a group fight in this game.
Okay.
Like, if there's more than 2 enemies,
Is it like,
you're like,
shit, run.
go get high ground, go recalibrate.
Honestly, hasn't that kind of been a thing since?
Not
Since
really.
Ocarina?
It depends on the monsters.
In
Like,
Ocarina, you could, like, smack down, like, 6 people.
yeah, you just swing your sword and you wreck
Yeah,
their
you swing your
shit.
sword.
You wreck their shit. Even in Twilight Princess, same sort of
Yeah,
thing. Like,
like-
the smaller monsters, you could just take
Yeah.
on hordes of them.
Where in
Not
this-
hordes, but
In
a
this
few of
one,
them.
they flank you.
Yeah.
They don't wait for each other to stop attacking. They don't have...
They just wail.
They will wail on you. And so that's great. Like, I know everyone's going to be like, comparing to Souls, but it's very Souls-esque in the sense of...
It's a bit soulsy.
Yeah, you dive in, and it's like,
You die.
fuck.
You dive in and you're dead.
It's getting a lot of Elder Scrolls vibes
Like
in it as
the
well. Just
roaming and open
Okay,
worldness.
I got a hint, a bit of a Skyrim hint from one of the gameplay videos I watched.
Yeah.
Is that legit? Is the soundtrack really that similar, or was it just that one scene?
Okay, the soundtrack in the game
Yeah.
is super low-key.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, so low-key. You'd be walking up a hill, and you're just like, man... I really wish there's and you're like, oh, this is now dramatic. This is
Shit is gonna go down.
yeah. So it just works on things. The puzzles I'm loving so far.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about
The dun-
Zelda. It's just
the one dungeon I've been
puzzles.
in.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Loved it.
No other game does dungeon puzzles like Zelda. Like that's
I don't know.
yeah.
Name one.
Lufia 2.
Yeah, okay. Name one in the past 10 years.
Also,
You said no other game. You didn't stipulate.
Even with Lufia 2, like that's a different sort of puzzling system. It's like it's not the same extent of movement puzzles and also battle and like I don't know. Zelda just feels like it has that nice blend to it.
One of my favorite puzzles so far has been one where I had to use a bomb, an arrow, and a magic spell to try and make a platform rotate 3 things where I couldn't see the switch I was hitting.
So you shot an arrow with a bomb tied to the end and then magically guided it to the switch that you needed to
You can
hit.
do that?
I wish.
You can do
Anyway.
You can do that? Fuck it. 11 out of 10 best game of all time.
Okay, so like, and finally tying
rope in and just ties the arrow to it.
Well, the funny thing is, because it's sort of got this like survivalist, improvisational
I would believe it.
bent to it, I
Yeah.
believe that
It's
would
just
be a thing you could do. You know?
could do what you want. But
So,
sorry.
Yeah, actually, no. Three points before I finish up. Graphically, I was a bit disappointed.
Oh yeah.
I was
I
actually
heard it
disappointed.
was beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It will be timeless.
So
But-
what's
When I
graphically
first woke
disappointing
up
about
in
it?
the cave, I looked at it and I was getting jaggies and a little bit of all this stuff, and it was really and then I stepped
Step
outside
outside.
and I'm like, oh, that's better.
Like,
Right.
That's nice. So is it a hardware thing struggling to
Yeah.
do what it needs to do?
Like, and there's a little bit of frame drops.
Yeah.
Now and then where I'm just like,
A
ooh.
launch title?
So
That's a
that's
worry.
problematic. So I wouldn't say it's a graphic issue. I'd say it's a hardware
Yeah.
issue.
But like I said,
Alright.
game itself, graphically timeless. In the same vein of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
How they
See, that's another thing Zelda games do well. Like,
they just
there's a few that you look back on 10
Like,
years later
okay,
and go, oh,
Ocarina-
of Time.
but that's
and
the,
Majora's Mask.
but that's the games
I
around
think that's
those
actually
times.
just.
Like,
Yeah,
it
I think
was-
that's actually just 64 games in
Yes,
general.
exactly. right. 64
oh my
games
god,
where
I
they're
can't
like-
wait to get the HDMI 64 so we can play them in glorious.
It's a
Oh,
console.
1080p.
They're gonna look so bad.
64 is a console that came out like not long after 3D like became so widestream. So like they were very blocky. They
My
were very-
counterpoint to that is it's in the same generation as the PlayStation, and there are PlayStation games that do achieve that timeless look.
Okay.
but most of them don't use 3D graphics.
Yes, I was
right.
gonna
That's
say,
exactly right. That's the
there-
point. That is the exact point.
Actually, I will raise Mario 64.
Mario
and-
64 is ugly as sin.
But
No.
it is a awesome game.
It's
No,
a great
no,
game.
It is,
but
such
it
a-
is.
Oh no, actually, I don't think it's on. Okay, maybe this is just my memory.
because I've
I need to go back and play it again recently.
and what's it? Banjo Kazooie. Both work with the hardware to the best extent.
Yeah.
They look like. And what was the Ridge Race? Not Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer.
F-Zero.
Yeah.
F-
Oh,
Looked alright as well.
it looked all right.
But-
It's more timeless because they stripped the graphics back so far.
Yeah.
Barely used textures in general.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they could hit that 60 FPS, 50 FPS for us PAL peoples, but max frame rate for maximum speed effect. And
Yeah.
I think because that's an interesting point actually, isn't it? Because they intentionally pulled back their fidelity. It's more replayable now in the future than other games of the era that were going for maximum fidelity, like say
exactly
Final
right.
Fantasy VII.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's a really cool thing that I've enjoyed with a lot of games. Like you get some games that are just 2D, maybe like cell shaded or something. And you're just
Yeah.
like, this is gonna look just as good
Yeah.
in 20 years as it does now because
One, two.
it's a simple like concept and there's not much that's gonna
I would
change
say
around it.
There's 2 games we've played on channel that are like that. Afro Samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to look like Afro Samurai.
Yeah.
20 years from now.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly
And then
right.
by then we'll have an Xbox 360 emulator, which we can upscale it to 12K or whatever.
12K.
All the K. How much K is your TV? All of them.
Every K.
Infinite K. It's beaming its pixels directly into my
It's
brain.
my soul.
And Fury's the same story,
Yeah.
where they're both cell-shaded games, and they're both going to look wonderful.
Yeah, but so in counter to that though is like when you get games that are like, okay, we're gonna do the newest and the best of the like
Last of Us.
3D graphics, and in 20 years time the technology will be so much better that it's like, okay, now we're comparing everything to this current system or this current
have you
like
seen
make.
Tekken 3 lately?
Remember people losing their shit over
Tekken
how
3.
realistic Final Fantasy VIII looked back in the day?
Remember
Yeah.
how realistic Halo looked back in the day,
Oh,
and then
Halo
now
2
it's just
was
like
so beautiful. How is there 16 shades of brown, yet I still can't see what's happening?
It's like, oh, I think I need to sit down.
Alright, so pulling it back so I can finish off my Breath of the Wild
Yes.
recap. It's getting a very... Well, it is set after the end, and it's giving me a very dungeon punk kind of vibe.
Yep.
I was surfing down a hill on what are those shields?
the head of your enemies.
The like a lightsaber shield. It's the only way, like a laser shield.
A laser,
laser
shield?
shield.
You can call it a laser shield.
I was surfing down a hill with a laser shield in this hand and an energy sword on my back.
What were you surfing on?
The laser shield.
Okay, I
And
thought
this-
you said
and this is in-
I thought you said
No.
laser shield in this hand.
Sorry, like under my feet. 'Cause
Okay.
you hold it in that hand. Anyway,
And this was in Breath of the Wild.
this is in Breath of the Wild.
That is.
And I'm like, and I had to fight in a giant mechanized war elephant.
How do you get a mechanized? What era is this set in?
It's post-apocalyptic, apparently.
Like,
That's cool.
there's so many things in it. People shoot lasers at you.
All right, settle
This
down.
is
Settle down.
This
okay,
sounds
Ben.
this sounds totally radical.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Well, you have a laser sword and a laser shield. Why can't people shoot lasers
yeah,
at
no,
you?
that's exactly the thing. I was like, meanwhile, my other highlight before we move on, and this is going directly to you, Ben. This is something very important to the both of us.
Wait. Let me try to guess. You can't. You have to parry.
No. Actually,
I'm not playing it.
you can
Screw
parry.
it. I'm not playing it.
You can parry if you want to, but there's actually no. That's one thing that did bug me. There's no dodge roll button.
What?
You have to.
They've got Souls Combat without a dodge roll? What the fuck?
Well,
You have a
quite
Zelda
s-
game without a dodge roll.
It's
That's
not well. They have the HA backwards and the HA
back-
left.
yeah.
But you have to be locked on to do it.
okay.
It's not quite Souls Combat. You can
okay.
make it Souls Combat if you want.
Okay.
But the last most important feature, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, you can ride bears.
Oh
That is
shit.
cool.
I found a bear in the woods and I'm like, oh, I don't want to kill you, bear. And there's like a little prompt that popped up and said, press A to mount. And I'm like,
Like Ben's like, oh my. oh, Zelda! I didn't know this was the kind of game.
and then I hopped on its back and I'm like, this is even better than I expected.
It's like, should I close the windows? Like, do I need to?
And then somehow my bear got struck by lightning and died.
Wow.
Rip Ben's Bear.
I was like,
2017, 2017.
I'm never going to find another bear to ride like you.
Alright, so in closing, game good, please play.
Game good, please play.
So let's talk about the Switch in more general terms now. How is it as a console? Is it good to use?
Okay, so as some people might know, I have little baby Asian hands. Yes,
This is true. I have verified.
His
fingers get to like my second knuckle.
and so I find the Joy-Cons are incredibly comfy. They're great.
But people with normal sized
I
hands
love
may
them.
not.
There's a
I
photo.
feel like it would still be okay. Like, people have bendable fingers.
Apparently,
you
there's
know.
people out there that actually really like the original Xbox controllers. But you
With
have
your-
tiny hands.
with
I found them great.
Okay, fair enough.
I kind of rested it on my leg.
I had
though.
no real
I couldn't
issue.
hold it.
It was too heavy for him to carry. I had no issues with it, but I didn't like it. Like it was just.
it's just
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as
It's
the current
certainly
ones.
no Sega Saturn 3D controller. I'll
Anyway,
put it
back
that
on,
way.
back on topic.
So-
So the Joy-Cons, they're comfy?
They're comfy. I am sad that the Joy-Cons don't have a headphone jack in them.
Oh, they don't?
No,
So where's the headphone jack?
it's on the physical unit.
Ugh.
But that's okay. Like, chances are you'd have that
Pardon me.
nearby. Like,
Well,
it's not
wait,
Yeah, no,
difficult
the
to.
reason I want that is so I can sit on my couch with a cord in my Joy-Con, so I can not have to wire myself to the TV.
It's like okay. So remember the original Switch reveal trailer where there's the guy who's taking it with him on the plane.
Yep.
You take your tray table down, you put the Switch on the thing, you take the Joy-Cons off, and you play. Just sort of like this.
Yep.
And wouldn't you can wire yourself to that.
I was going to say, wouldn't it be better if you were wired from the controller? Sorry, I just bumped the mic.
That's okay.
That's a serious... This is
like,
a serious
I get
problem.
where you're coming from, but I don't think it's that big a deal. Like,
it's probably not. It's just mildly infuriating,
To me, it's a problem. That's the thing. This is one of my complaints about it. Otherwise, I really do like the Joy-Cons. There's been a sync issue going around with some people where they lose sync. I had it happen once.
just randomly.
Yeah. I was just like, meh, whatever.
Do you think they'll be able to fix it with a firmware patch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Easy as.
Ben can fix it himself. Anyway, sorry.
The Bluetooth stack's probably resetting itself.
Have you bought anything off the eShop yet?
Not yet. So, give me a second. I got to get back to the physical tablet.
Oh, right. Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
The tablet is smaller than I expected, but really fun
But
to
apparently
play.
it's really good.
Yeah,
like
it's
got
great.
like it's a 720p.
Yeah.
It's clear. Like
It's
simply
great.
because of the size of it, you don't need it to be more high def than that. And
I
it's
can't
smooth
wait
and
until it
it's
gets
pretty.
Netflix apps on it. I will be so
Oh yeah,
happy.
absolutely will. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and YouTube. It's going to be like, yeah, this is nice.
yeah.
I'll totally use it as
Like
at
you
work
would,
as
you
a
would-
tablet.
yeah, exactly right. That's what I was gonna say. Like you could actually just use it as a regular tablet at some
But
point.
is it like better than like in that respect? It's not going to replace like
Oh
a
no,
like
like
an
it's
iPad
not
or
going to be
something.
better than an actual
Well,
tablet that's made to be a tablet.
Processor-wise, this thing shits over any tablet. But on the flip side, it only has 3 hours battery life. 3 to 6.
Have you tested it?
And I have not tested it.
Okay.
But it's about 3 hours battery life playing Breath of the Wild is the current metric.
See, that's not like. Yeah.
You see,
Okay,
you see,
Like playing a game for 3 hours, like.
See,
that
here's the
would
thing.
kill my phone.
I want one. I want a Switch, but these things that you're telling me kind of make me want to wait for the second revision. To be honest.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, that's all well and good. I personally don't see myself playing something for more than 3 hours on the go.
Something that's really
True,
applicable
but-
to all three of us is 3 hours battery life. That is train or taxi to airport, waiting on the plane, land in airport, grab bags, switch is flat, get to the
And then
hotel and charge
you're
it.
done. Yeah, like,
Yeah, like,
you can
it's
charge
to
it in the
Melbourne.
hotel. Like
We
you can
can
charge
go-
in the airport. Like
Yeah, like the Switch gets us to Melbourne, which is our most frequent destination.
True. That is true.
I don't
And
see
that's
myself.
Unless you drive.
Unless you drive,
In
in
that
which
case,
case you
you're
get a
screwed.
USB charger. And why are you playing the Switch while you're driving?
While you're driving, he's just like, okay, I got this. Just looking up, okay, open roads, all right.
So
I'm
it's
gonna
like-
fight this monster now.
So it's- Don't
great.
Don't
text-
switch and
don't
drive.
switch and drive.
And
No.
don't switch and poop either. That's
not-
just nasty.
It's not. It's no longer don't text and
Why
drive.
not?
It's now don't.
It's my Switch. No one else is going to touch it. Say that, but you're all about to use... Imagine if I used my Switch to switch and poop. Here's the controls,
If
Carl.
it's a shared
Will you
console-
ever know?
If
Would
it's
you ever know where my hands have been?
I don't know where your hands have been at the
It's
best
like
of
just
times. For God's sake, don't touch me.
don't switch and jerk it, Ben.
It's just the HD Rumble feels so good.
He's already done that.
I was like, oh, that's too late. He's had it for 3 days. Come on.
I've had it for a day. And besides, I've named it Swerking It.
Swerking it.
It's working it.
There you
Swerking
go.
It. So yeah, tablet-wise, it's alright. It feels good. It's light. It's got a nifty bag. There's not much to say at the moment. The one game I have plays well, is good. eShop, as you're asking, the eShop is literally catered to me at the moment.
In that it's full of indie games.
And no, it's not full of indie games yet. It will be next week.
Soon.
It's filled with Neo Geo games and some RPGs.
It's filled with
That's
Japanese
oddly
games.
specific.
Yeah, so it has King of Fighters 98.
That's oddly specific.
That's great. It has Waku Waku 7. You don't even know what Waku
I don't know
Waku
what
7
Waku
is.
Waku
Neither
7
does he.
The name actually sounds familiar. Is
Yeah.
it a fighting game?
It is another fighting
It
game.
sounds
Oh my
familiar,
God.
but I have no idea. I don't think I've ever
It
seen
has Metal Slug 3.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Yeah, which I was like, Metal Slug on the go. Woo. Oh, baby. And it's got Fast RMX, which is a great game. It's got I Am Setsuna.
That's not an Neo Geo game.
Yeah, no, I'm changed. No, neither of those are Neo Geo games. It's got both the Shovel Knights, so the main one and the prequel.
Cool.
Which is
Prequel?
Yeah, Spectre of Torment. You in?
Maybe.
Wow. Yeah, so it's looking good. Coming up, it's got some banging game. It's got Mr. Shifty coming out. It's got Pocket Battle. No, it's like a 2-button fighter, which I showed Bin, which is great. It's got like 3 different cool platformers whose names I can't remember. So, at the moment...
Does it have a virtual console?
It will... Not now. It will be getting it, though, soon.
What is it going to be shit?
So, no...
It's got to be better than the other ones we had.
Here's my question, though, because I think you guys mentioned the lack of virtual console, like, a little earlier. So?
What's that? Yeah, basically that just means you can't play any of your old Nintendo favorites.
Okay.
Yeah,
Have you ever
do
used...
you still have your Wii? Do you still have...
Do I have...
That's not the point. Okay.
How many Wiis do I have is the question.
All right, bear with me here.
Yeah,
have you ever played emulated old games on an Android or iPad tablet?
It feels not particularly good.
It feels
just
not...
because there's no controls, basically.
Okay.
That's my gripe anyway.
But they work really well, and it's convenient to have them while you're traveling, right? Now, imagine that with a real controller. With an actual controller.
Yeah.
Like, legitimate, like, there's no grey market, anything about it. That is a really good selling point. The problem is that Nintendo, the problem is that I am sure that Nintendo's going to fuck it up. They're going to make everything too expensive again.
Here's my point around that.
And they're going to force, even though it's a region-free console, they're going to force people in our region to buy the inferior PAL releases.
They're probably not going to.
Yeah, I don't.
There's no reason for them to.
I don't think so.
There's no reason for them to, other than to fuck it up like they always do. I mean, let's be real.
You are just being so cynical. It's just like they can probably screw it up. So I'm sure that they will. Give them the benefit of the doubt.
I'm Carl. It's good to meet you.
I would say, Ben, have you met the Wii U?
Yeah, I know the Wii U. It's okay.
And how do you feel about the Wii U?
Anyway, my point here is...
How do you feel about the GameCube?
I love the GameCube.
See?
My point here, though, is you're saying that there's no virtual console, right? But I feel like that's extra. That's icing on the cake. That is... You can enjoy the console for what it is, and then if they do bring out the virtual console and they do it well, then you're all better for it. But without the virtual console, it shouldn't detract from the console itself. You should be like,
that is true.
Oh, Nintendo are the worst. They didn't put a virtual console. Okay, they didn't put a virtual console. That's
once again,
what's the big deal? Like, it's nice to be able to go back and play these things on a good system. It being Nintendo, not being a rip, not being something shady. It would be great to have those things, but it's almost like you guys are saying they owe it to us to give us a virtual console that we love.
You fail to realize that Nintendo is the only company on the market who has such a dedicated back catalog. They've been at this forever.
Yep.
That they need their virtual console to sway a market share.
Okay.
Because Xbox One and PS4, you can't play your original Xbox downloads or your original PlayStation. Actually, they're sort of trying there, but they only put shitty games up. Where on a Switch, you can sell a Switch to a lot of people by saying, hey, look, you can play the original Mario on it and the new game.
Okay. So, again, this is a benefit to Nintendo as well to say, hey, if you provide this to people will buy it. So Nintendo not doing it is them shooting themselves in the foot.
As gamers,
I still don't
it's shooting them and us in our feet.
As gamers, we have a complicated relationship with Nintendo, okay? We are big fans of a lot of their IPs.
Yeah.
But
their business practices.
A lot of us really disagree with the way that they carry on their business practices.
I get that.
Like that email I sent out. Hey, we've decided that the Switch Breath of the Wild would be a Switch cross-platform. Also, it needs to be ready by Switch launch.
That's not real. That's not real.
It's from a presentation in
That's
Nintendo.
That's not real. It can't be.
From a Nintendo guy presentation.
No.
And you're like, what? You're saying Nintendo is just like every other company?
No, we already knew they were worse than every other company.
Oh, God, yes. Except for No, we're not
No,
going to do
we're
this
not
right
going
now.
there.
Anyway, yeah, I get where you guys are coming from in terms of if they did it as well, it would be wonderful for us. It would be great and everything. But I would rather kind of just enjoy what I have, and then if they give us that extra, it's just like, this is perfect. This is wonderful.
Take what's here now, temper your expectations for the future.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the logical approach.
But logic. But screw logic.
I want to play Metroid Fusion. I don't want to be.
I want to be able to play Breath of the Wild, Metroid Fusion, Smash Melee, and
Secret
of Mana on the same console.
I'm
all at
the same time.
All at the same time.
rock hard.
I do miss Secret of Mana. Like, that is...
Oh, yeah. I'm
okay.
sad that you went to Japan and you didn't come back with a Senkan Densu 3
Yeah,
cut.
exactly.
They didn't have it where
You bring this
looked.
honor on your family.
If I had seen a Seiken Densetsu 3 cartridge, even if I don't have the console to play it, I would have still bought that shit.
Yeah, I can just imagine you. Hey, look, it's there.
It's like he'll put it on a frame and just hang it in his room.
That's it.
I'll
just look at it every day.
And every couple of days he'll go over to it and just touch it, you know, like.
See, in my head, it's like, Ben, baby, does that cartridge really need to watch us as we sleep? Yes. You just put like googly eyes on it.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so like, I get where you're coming from, because currently what I have to do is I have to use an emulator on my
I was gonna say I have to turn the cartridge around every time I have a lady over.
It gets awkward. It's like, you shouldn't be watching this. No, but in terms of the virtual console, like,
Yeah,
I do have to emulate. Like, I play Second Densetsu 3 on PC via emulation. I play Secret of Mana emulated, Chrono Trigger I play emulated, and it's just like all these really cool old games that would be lovely to have on an actual console and just there.
Well,
that
I
I can play.
actually had a really funny experience about that because someone recommended a pocket fighter to me. So there's a subgenre of fighting games. I know you're like,
Here we go.
which
Fighting games.
basically uses minimal buttons so you can play them on the go. And
Like dive kick.
like dive kick. There's a bunch of them for the Sega portable thing.
I saw
that we
one
offered about.
PAX last year. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Inflatality.
No, that wasn't it.
And someone was like, "Hey, Street Fighter Alpha 3 for the Game Boy Advanced," and my face went, "Huh?" And then I was like, "I have to find this out," so I had to go download it, play it on an emulator, and I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a 4-button. It played well."
Yeah.
So tying into this, if we want we need to find a way that we can have these catalogs of old games available for people who are interested.
Yes, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of games out there that never actually made it to every market, but are still very historically important.
well, I missed out on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
And there's so many Game Boy Advance games.
How did you miss out on the Game Boy Advance?
When did the Game Boy Advance come out?
It's like he was 2 years old when it was out.
I'm pretty sure I was like 10.
Yeah,
That's round it down. It's close.
It's like close enough. 210, yeah.
I think like citation needed.
We call up Paul.
Yeah.
How old was Ben?
What's your folks' phone number?
Sorry, no, keep going.
Yeah, and I wanted to see what they were talking about with this game, so I went and illicitly acquired.
You acquired it.
Acquired.
Acquired
Quotes,
and
Obtained.
Yes, I purchased this game on eBay and had it shipped to my place the same day.
God bless the internet.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah.
yeah, so what do we do about that? And this VC.
So
Game
I
catalogs.
feel like, yeah.
Well, Nintendo was very happy to sell them back to you in inferior formats for $10 a piece.
Yes, if I had $1 for every time I've purchased the original Castlevania, I might be able to buy it on this Switch.
That's hilarious.
So, going back to this, you mentioned, how... I don't see it... I think it's very possible for people to be able to access old games, but I feel like it's going to be a lot of work from the developer point of views. in the sense that if we want to do a VC or whatever, and allow all these old games, there's maybe not a lot of work, but there's a little bit of reworking for it to be able to run, because it was developed for a cartridge, it was developed for this specific hardware, and they have to port it over to working.
Let's cut to the chase. Should there be something equivalent to like a library for video games, where you can just go there and look at old games?
Just look at or play
old games.
So this is the trouble with games as opposed to other mediums, where looking at a book is great. That's the same thing. You can read that, or looking at a movie is fine. A game needs to be a physical, like
you need to have that interaction with it. Yeah.
What separates a game from a movie or some other form of art is the interactivity.
The interactivity, yes, exactly right.
That's what makes
it another level of interactivity, because you can get some arts that are interactive, but again, those sorts of like interactive art pieces, they require a very constructed and specific situation where you have to be in, you have to do this and this and this. Same sort of thing with the game. So
yeah, I'm saying
you have to be connected to the internet, and you have to be in a team of 5 people, and you have to have somebody to call you a faggot.
Yes, bare minimum.
This is what we need to archive the original Warcraft 3 forever.
We're gonna have to bleep that out.
No, because it's true. This is the thing. Don't censor yourself for speaking what's right. How it is.
There's nothing right about that.
No, but that's how it is.
No, but you've basically touched on a point that is reality, effectively. The amount of time people get called those names and the such, like in games, it happens. It's not like So anyway, let's.
This is. I'm like, man, you're gonna make me go on a rampage about censoring and everything. But we'll move on.
Yes.
So there's a guy in America who's opened a Patreon.
Okay.
Link somewhere, because we'll do that afterwards. And basically, they're like, we need to archive video games and video game culture. Mm-hmm. We need to make sure what we have, our art, isn't lost like so many other arts. And we have the opportunity now, like
before the cartridges and CDs start rotting.
We are a young culture comparatively. We have the chance to keep our history alive.
So my question there is, when you're archiving it, is it just digitally archiving? So taking things from the cartridge and going, okay, we are now going to store this on a hard drive somewhere, and just make sure that we're
going to store it in the cloud.
That's how I would do it. Yes.
And this archiving, though, is it a playable archive? Is it a, like you were saying, a library where
it should be?
It should, where you can go and play it. So again,
I'm pretty sure he's actually petitioning and setting up a system for a museum of gaming history.
Of course, with the NES being about 30 years old, it would be under the original copyright laws. Actually, I'm gonna have to Google that.
No, it's 50, isn't it?
It is now, but when it was originally proposed,
set.
It'd be getting close to being.
And I'm pretty sure Atari doesn't give a shit about their old stuff now, considering Atari is dead.
Okay, and that's a very good point that I was going to raise around this archiving and the such. Like,
is NEC still a brand?
I don't know. So with regards to IP and stuff, so for let's just say with Nintendo, for sake of it, all of their IP now, it's their property. So in order to archive it, in order to do all this, you need Nintendo to go ahead, or Nintendo themselves to actually do it.
Well,
correct?
Actually, it's your prerogative if you have the cartridge to back it up. So if they are going to archive the entirety of stuff with still existing companies, they need to, and they want to back it up both digitally and physically.
Yep.
They're allowed to do that as long as they have the physical medium.
Original. Okay. And then so if people are going to play off that digital copy of it,
that's fine as well,
as long
because
as they
you have the physical medium. Okay. Strictly speaking, legally, you can neither stop them or say it's acceptable. It's that gray zone. That's fine.
Right. Okay. So this is a bit of a weird.
The whole thing is a weird gray zone.
It is a weird topic. So I feel like, yes, it would be good to do these things. It would be good to archive them. It would be good to be able to access and play them and give people the opportunity. It's return on investment is effectively my concern here. It's how much effort is it going to be in order to archive all these old games that people would love to play?
Honestly, as terrible as it sounds, I'm pretty sure the internet has done a pretty good job so far.
pretty much already done.
All right. Okay, let's take that and run with that then. Yes, it's done a decent job, but they're not necessarily like they're copies of indeterminate origin and unverified
source.
Source.
Yes, absolutely.
So
For example,
so whilst it's done a pretty good job, some of those cartridges might be missing, like some of those cartridge archives might be missing, like the header, or somebody's inserted like a
picture of the dick,
or
their own like brand or title or whatever.
Like it used to like you've seen them, right?
So basically, it would just be like someone putting their like a watermark of their own onto whatever they've done.
Also, on the flip side, though, because of these motions, there's a game that was never released called Primal Rage 2.
Yeah,
it was finished. There is one unit ever made of this, and because of people actually working towards to back this up, there is a workable ROM for that online now.
Sweet.
Yeah, we're not playing it. It's as bad.
I have no intention of playing it.
It's like claymation, Mortal Kombat, but you can turn into dinosaurs.
Yeah, I've seen Primal Rage somewhere. Like,
you're like, why do I know this?
I've seen it somewhere.
But jumping back to your point, that is one of the reasons why there are people out there collecting and archiving cartridges. Like, God fear the day where we have to back up. What is that game for the NES that's really expensive and the only English version came out in Sweden and had that unique sound chip?
No
and
idea.
You play a blob with a star. I'll find it somewhere.
Sure.
I'll show it to you.
Blob with the star.
It looks like a great game, and the sound chip makes it sound different.
So NES.
Sure. NES.
Not SNES.
Yep. It's like one of the few ones with like... Anyway, not important. Moving on.
In Sweden.
I think it was Sweden. You're like, why do you know that? And I'm like, I just can't remember. Mr. Fantastic? Mr... Alpha? No. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Point is, it's rare.
The point is, it's rare, and I want to know is...
I actually thought you were going somewhere totally different with that. I thought you were talking about the Nintendo World Championship carts.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yep.
I want to know is if we're storing this, and let's assume we're emulating it in future, how do we replicate the original experience? Because the MMC chip, it can't...
That was going to be my next question as well with regards to this. Is like... Again, going back to archiving and digitally storing things, when you do that, though, if people are going to play it back, are they just going to play it on PC and just be like, okay, I've mapped my keys to the correct thing? But is that the same thing?
Well, you can.
You can, but
it does lack something. It does lack something, doesn't it?
It does lack something. So then, in that case, then do you have to provide a means for people to play it on the original platform?
In my mind, I would set it up, like, let's say, Ben's Museum of Video Game History.
Yep.
I would actually have original hardware as much as I can, but I wouldn't use original carts in the system. Carts get wear and tear and die.
Yes.
I would have basically, you can get a system that plugs into it, SD card, pull up the library. I'll put a nice OS in front of it, so you're like, here's the game, here's the history of the game, here's who made the game, here's it. Click here to play the game, and in front of it, I would have
the hardware that
like the two controllers play it.
Yeah, that plays it.
Up to, what is it, 18 for Bomberman on Sega Saturn? That's an experience.
Cool.
That is 16.
Man, this all just sounds so nice, and yet I sit over here realizing it's a thing that will never happen due to the licensing nightmare it would be.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of work that needs to go into it.
But jumping on the hardware information, recently a company has released what they call the NT Slim, I think it is? NT Mini, which uses field programmable gate arrays to simulate a NES chipset.
Yeah.
Which is
a
fucking lot of work.
So when you say simulate, so just to clarify for my own purposes here, emulation is a different hardware device or software device that is capable of reproducing the same experience, but not necessarily by the same means.
Yes.
The simulation is they've actually taken these gates and put in the original schematic of the NES into that.
Yep.
Okay.
Why? Like,
well, no. Why is it
why
important?
would you simulate rather than emulate?
It's more authentic.
It's more authentic. It's more responsive. It actually gets the same experience as the original hardware. For example, did you play Mega Man 3 on NES?
Yes.
Do you know the flicker on the boss screen?
Yes.
Emulation gets rid of that shit.
No, it doesn't. Because we just played that
It should.
recently.
A proper emulator should be like, no, we'll fix up the hardware behind that.
Well, clearly that emulation didn't.
Was it on the Xbox?
It was on the Xbox.
Motherfuckers. No, because that's something that can be fixed.
I mean, like, we were kind of talking out of school here, but that's, I did do a Mega Man 3 session with Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flicker's still there. And I think we comment on it as well.
Yeah.
Strictly speaking, in my mind, emulation should be about optimization of the playing experience. For example, the Wii emulator can upscale to 4K.
Right.
Which,
4K.
a simulation...
Wii games in 4K.
Well, some of them look really good.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So, yep.
Simulation should be about an exact experience copied.
Yeah. Okay, so can I chime in a little bit here?
Chime away.
I feel emulation, you can emulate to the same extent of including the hardware deficits.
Hardware flaws. Like, for example, NES Flicker with more than 8 sprites? Is it 8 sprites?
It's more like 3 sprites.
3 sprites. Any sprites.
More than a sprite.
And then B, when you're saying you want to simulate so you still have the same experience as the original, I feel like that comes back into the whole having the actual...
You can't simulate being 6 years old again.
Yeah. and having the actual like controller, the hardware, like, so that's... So for me, I see the whole simulating a old hardware with new hardware, like the chipset, as a kind of a waste or not valuable in that extent, because you still can't quite get that same experience of what you're trying to simulate.
But you're failing to realize that, for example, NES hardware is failing.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like another 20 years, only the mintest of mint nests will still be working.
Will still work, yeah.
This is why the simulation aspect's important, because in time, everything will be like, we'll have to emulate to do it.
Yeah.
This still gives us a hardware option to go back to that time. And you might say you'll never be 6 again. Arguably, I've never had the experience of playing...
I am still 6 now. Mentally still 6.
That explains so much.
Look, I got my first video game console, like 2 years ago.
Yes, but when was the first time that you actually played a video game? Regardless of whether it was on...
Probably at my cousin's place on an N64.
And you were...
young.
Very young.
Like,
yeah, honestly,
there may have been a time before that.
I was going to say, like 5 or 6. That's the formative age. That's when I had my first exposure to the NES. And
I thought he was going to say my first exposure to, and I was like, no, stop, Carl, no, pull out.
Oh my god, you guys
get on the podcast.
Oh my god, seriously?
Show me where on bin he touched you.
So actually, I was honestly thinking the same thing when Ben started talking about his first time as well. I was just like, I'm not going to say anything.
No, we're trying to have a serious discussion about video games here, and you just had to bring us all down into the gutter with you.
I tried not to. Ben brought it up.
I brought you down swinging.
Oh my goodness.
Wow,
anyway, the point is, I first played a video game when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and that was why they became such a great interest to me.
It is why you are who you are.
Correct. It is why I am who I am. It's probably responsible for the fact that I'm in the IT industry. Yeah. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
See, I would actually argue my interest in video games started when I was about 12. So we got ADSL. I had a powerful
at the time
computer that could emulate stuff, and so I effectively started what we were talking about. I started going through archives and being like, what have I missed in the past 20 years, because I was either too young to know or not born yet.
Almost like you had access to a library of games.
And I mean, I hesitate to say I want my children because that's like, yeah, they're probably going to be robots.
What does that error on your PC mean?
What? No, that's saying it can't access the update server.
Okay.
It's still recording.
I'm just
Anyway,
You're like,
I'm paranoid about you running out of hard disk space or something because that actually happened to me at work.
Yeah, I want my children and my children's, be they robot or be they flesh, to have the same experience. I want them to be able to go
Are you saying that you're going to give birth to the Terminator?
I'm saying Ben is already the Terminator. We're just trying to combine him so he gets my sexual personality.
I see.
Okay.
And then he'll be... wait for it. The Sperminator. No, that'll never work.
You see, that's where I differ in that view. In the sense that, yes, I think it's a good idea to archive these things. It's a good idea to have a library that you can always go back to, and it's history. Like, you just want to hold on to history. But in my view, I feel like that's what it should be. It should be history that you can go back on and look at and experience. But I wouldn't go so far as to say I want my children to have this same experience as me. Like, I want them to have the option to have some of those
that's a good point, actually.
And I want them to be... I don't want my history or my past to determine what my children experience.
Okay, if somebody says
did come across slightly as the wrong way. What I meant was like have their own journey of discovery, and having a video game library leads them to have the potential of having their discovery through video games.
All right,
just like having a book library allowed me to discover the wonders of written erotica.
Of course it did.
Let's make an analogy.
They have written... Okay, yeah, no, they would. I was like...
Erotica has been written for...
I was saying in your local library, and it was like, okay, no, that's fair.
Let's make an analogy. There are important games in the history of video games that established genre conventions or did things for the first time.
Yeah.
All right, so starting at the very beginning.
So let's make an analogy. In a similar fashion, like if you're interested in music, there are similar albums, bands, etc., that did something for the first time or were the first like commercially successful example of something, blah 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 blah.
Or iconic for other reasons.
Or iconic for other reasons. That's right. If you want to go back, let's say if you want to go back to the 60s and listen to the Beatles, how would you if somebody's interested in the history of music and want to listen to that for historical purposes, how would you recommend that they listen to it? Is it required that they listen to a vinyl copy of it?
Yes. Well, no.
It's preferable. It's preferable. Again,
let me play it on my 8-track.
For the entire experience of what it was back then yeah, have the vinyl.
Is it preferable that somebody listens to a mono recording just because that's how most people had their systems at the time?
I think you should go back and listen to it in the optimal format for the era.
So again, I feel like
that's me.
I feel like having that option there is good, and they can go back to that, but they can still have that experience without necessarily having to be in the exact same scenario. So you can still listen to the Beatles on iTunes and still enjoy it as much as what it would
iTunes
come from.
Really?
It was an example. I'm sorry. Spotify.
Spotify has too low bitrate as well. Thank you very much.
What would you be satisfied with, Ben?
CD rips.
But anyway, so someone
that was bait, wasn't it?
So someone can still experience those historical things with our current technology. Yes, it won't be the exact same experience as what it was because you're not putting in the vinyl. You're not like having to make sure it's not skipping and scratching.
Freeze frame. Want to know how we got here?
But I feel like that's not necessarily what needs to be conveyed. That's not necessarily what someone needs to experience per se. This is almost contradictory to what I said earlier about having the physical console there.
So you've changed your mind over the course of the discussion.
No. He still stands by with games. You need the physical apparatus which you originally played it by, but with music, it's a different thing.
It is a different thing, but it's also it depends on how much that individual wants to experience that. If that makes sense. If my kids want to play the games that I played as a kid, but they're like, I want to go find an old N64 and we use this old
How do I use this thing that looks like a grappling hook?
Yeah, like
you throw it at people, it's a batarang.
I just want to play it on my Oh my god,
Boomerangs and Breath of the Wild, so good.
I just want to play it on my PC that can spit up a 3D hologram of what I'm playing or something.
Or your Switch.
Yeah.
To bring this full circle.
So my point here is, it's good to have the original thing there for people to be able to experience it, but I think it's also sufficient to have it in a more consumable way.
Different levels of accessibility depending on how
immersion,
how committed or
accessibility and immersion. Yeah.
Now, as much as my family hates to admit it, we're very we have traditions and we have rituals, for lack of a better way of describing it. And I remember the first time I was allowed to put a record in the record player type thing.
Did you scratch it?
Did you break the record? Like, okay, Ben, here's your first record. Just have fun.
And his father hands him the worst album in his collection, so that if he does lose it, it's no big deal.
Just in case.
And once again,
I got this snap.
Well, records are a shitty medium.
Well, isn't that a shame?
They're like laser discs. But that's the thing where for me, because there is so much tradition and ritual and emotion behind that, where I can still see it in my head. It was a terrible room that leaked in when it rained, but that's not important. There's this thing where I want other people to experience what it's like to put a record on.
Yeah.
It may not have the same impact for them, but they need to
still have the option to experience
something that I want them to experience. Much like in the thing where everyone blows in your fucking cartridge. Don't blow in your cartridges, people. This is bad practice.
It is a terrible idea. So,
but it's the same thing.
Why?
So
I still do it. Why should I not do it?
It corrodes.
I see.
The things.
Oh dear.
You're meant to get some isoprene and some swabs.
Ain't no one got time for that shit.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Swab them, baby.
Okay.
Swab me real good.
We're talking about records and such, and that brings me back to the comment of you saying hardware erodes,
everything erodes.
Everything erodes over time. So
everyone dies, Ben.
Yeah. So
until we upload our conscious into an archive or a library of some kind.
Anyways, so you're saying there won't be, in 100 years you won't be able to find a working N64, and so
you'd be hard pressed to find a working N64 right now.
So what
cuts me deep, Shrek.
Tying it into with the vinyls and whatnot is, right now you can buy a brand new
record player and brand new vinyl.
Those things are available, and so you can play a Beatles album on vinyl. On a record player.
And the problem here is that's because that technology is not copyrighted.
Well, so was it not copyrighted? I'm pretty sure it must have been patented or something, wasn't it? So,
kind of tying back to what I was saying, if we want to have these physical things in 100 years or something, it can be rebuilt. Like you're saying, you're simulating chips and whatnot, but you can physically rebuild what was built however long ago. It's possible.
It is possible.
It's going to be. It'll be difficult, but it
would be incredibly difficult and incredibly pricey.
Additionally, no one manufactures CRTs anymore.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize that aspect of archival.
Yeah. So. There's
that's
all
something
these
I
factors.
missed.
There's all these factors in play. But my point is, it is all possible,
How
right?
am I meant to play Melee now?
You're not.
Never again. It's
play
Smash
gone. 4 instead.
It's gone. So the point that I'm trying to get at is it is all possible, and you can effectively recreate these things again and again if you really wanted to, and if you had the means to. But
what I'm saying is the simulation brings the means to a more accessible market.
So by having current hardware that simulates old hardware as opposed to actually building the old hardware from ground up.
And once again, I hate to break it to you, but if I built a SNES controller from a FPGA and just put it in a SNES controller casing and use the same switches, which the switches are still available, you'll be like, oh, this is slightly more responsive than a SNES controller. I'll just wear it in.
Yeah.
You won't notice.
You won't notice. And I don't think you would. I'm not saying that you would. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. And it makes sense.
It's important because, like you said, N64s are an abomination of a system.
I love N64s.
I loved N64 content. The
but
content,
not the system itself.
the system had forced anti-aliasing. It had fog gates in almost everything. If we built,
I know that you hated your experience with Turok.
you
should try playing the N64 version. Holy shit!
And that's the thing. But like I said, there's memories associated, and I would love N64 to be available from the masses. And then you honestly would have a little switch that says sucky mode and what should have been, what it should be,
and just toggle between the two.
Like flicks it from a composite video to HDMI.
Yeah, Halo. I always come back to Halo as an example, like the remaster.
Where you're like, between this is this, and this is this. If it was
good,
well,
or if it was modern.
In the same way I said with music, you should listen to it in the best available means available at the time, type thing. That means I feel like you should listen to most classical in orchestra.
That's not exactly
a viable option.
It's okay. I want to teach my son about Mozart. Let me go hire the Sydney Symphony.
I mean, that was actually partially bait.
You'll be rich enough to just be like, I'll get the Sydney Symphony to play for me, but this weekend.
Yeah, no. In my example, I would get a video of the Sydney Symphony.
Okay.
But that's the thing. And with old games, I want them to be played in the best available option at the time.
Yep.
Which, for example, you guys know my obsession with RGB. So that's where that came from. I want the best available quality that thing
could provide. Yeah.
If it was in a lab environment in the developer studio type thing.
Oh, so you want it to crash every 30 seconds?
Yes. I said, not your lab environment, Carl.
All right.
So yeah, in N, I'm pro simulation, pro emulation, pro archival,
pro everything, pro access, pro give me things that.
Like I will happily pay for it though.
Yeah, and that's fine. You're pro all of those things, just not pro pirating.
See, here's the thing.
It doesn't have to pirate because there's no option.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be free, but it does also need to be fair,
accessible.
You know,
available,
and once
to the masses.
I can think of several young men. Oh, young men is the wrong word. Boys.
Young men.
And boys and girls that I would love to be like, hey, I see you playing Minecraft on your iPad. Let me go show you.
Try this instead.
Let me go show you what I did. Imagine
I
showing.
can show you the world.
Lemmings. Showing. Lemmings
Yeah.
is such a good example of something that can be ported perfectly to a phone game. It's simple, quick point, escalates.
Oh, I'm having flashbacks, man.
PTSD.
It escalates into terribleness, but it's something we can share with future generations.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's just.
I've kind of thrown counterpoints the whole way through, but honestly, I don't disagree with anything that you're saying.
I know. I'm here playing devil's advocate, but I agree with you entirely, and we just needed to make conversation.
I do agree. Not entirely. I agree, but not entirely. I feel like...
So in that case, basically, we just need to sort out the whole licensing problem, and then we've got our life's work ahead of us.
Yeah. Honestly... It is our continuing mission.
Because this honestly keeps coming up in our podcast, doesn't it?
To boldly make media available to the masses.
Yeah. But
one ROM at a time.
Good luck with that, Ben.
You're
going to start
do what you want because a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Anyway, that's enough. You can make your sitcom at another point in time.
This is a Star Trek joke that went really off the rails. Should have made a Romulan pun.
I think we can wrap it up there. We'll leave it at that. So for those watching on YouTube, thanks a lot. Please like some of our videos, subscribe to the channel, check out some of our other stuff. So all the Let's Plays that we're doing. If you're listening on iTunes, leave a review. And if you're listening on SoundCloud, feel free to like some of our stuff as well. The more we can get out there, the better it is for us.
What you're trying to say is, notice me, senpai.
Yes, that is exactly right. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. Thanks a lot. Bye, guys.
See you next time.
all of mine in my mouth, you know I would.
Oh my goodness. Jesus.
Jesus. All right.
Hey, look at me in the eye and say you wouldn't.
I would not.
You would
I
not
would
suck
not.
your own dick.
No.
What about you, Carl?
I wouldn't.
Why am I the only one here who would suck his own dick?